What I think is funny is like they both refuse. Actually, listen to this. I'm just going to back it up. Just a kiss. I'm going to kiss it here. Watch this.
Really unique woman to make it. I think that women need to take it as us trying to tell women what they should or shouldn't do.
Okay. No, Chris. We should tell women what they should and shouldn't do, because clearly they need to hear it. Clearly, men, if men are going to take authority, and I've said this about it, here we go. I've said this 100 different times in 100 different ways. Responsibility without authority is slavery. Women have 100% authority and 0% of responsibility. Clearly, we can see that even in Michaela's like, I'm just going to look for people online to watch my kid, right? You want to talk about irresponsible? That's irresponsible. Absolutely, that's irresponsible. So nobody calls that out. If I go and I say, you are insane I will tell you right now, Michaela, you are insane. Bring the kid to me. I'll watch the kid for you. Make sure nothing bad happens to her. That is insane. But if I say that, it sounds like I'm telling her what she should and she shouldn't do. No, her dad should tell her what she should and shouldn't do. That conversation should have happened when she was 9 fucking years old and continue to 29 years old and continue past that. If my daughter decided that, remember when I was doing the show on the Tinder swindler, and it was red meat, right? It was so salacious and everything else. But you know what? There would be no Tinder swindler if a dad or a brother or a nephew or a strong, positive, masculine guy stepped in there with some authority and said, no, you are not going on that private jet with that guy. He's a scam artist. This doesn't smell right. I'm stepping in. I'm going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. And in this case, you shouldn't get on that fucking jet. And after what, 2 loans you've taken out for this guy, not to mention 9. Imagine a dude comes in and says, your dad, her brother, or somebody who gives a rat's ass, some guy who has the cojones to step in and say, I'm going to take some masculine authority, and I'm going to tell you, no, you are not getting this loan for this guy. You're already $30,000 in hock for this dude. That's insane. No one is going to say that's insane. No one is going to say to Michaela Peterson what you should and shouldn't do. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And somebody needs to come in and tell her that and take some masculine authority over that. Because clearly no girl is going to do that. No, she's not listening to anyone else. Jordan, if you're like whatever your name is, you're Fuller, Jordan Fuller, right? You're the fiance. Tell her what the fuck to do. Tell her. No, this is stupid. Are you out of your fucking mind? That's the conversation that needs to happen. Well, that sounds judgy. God forbid we would tell women what they can and cannot do. Why not? They tell men what they can and cannot do all the time. Men will tell men what they can and cannot do all the time. Well, again, there's a separate standard of justice for men and for women. There's also a separate standard of discernment and judgmentalism and, assuming and taking over authority. God, very few men of the last, like say 3 or 4 generations would want to step in and say, unless they're very authoritarian, or I would do the same thing for my own daughter. If Michaela was my daughter, I would say the same damn thing. I would say, look, you're not doing that. You're not what are you, out of your fucking mind? You're petitioning people online for this? I don't want to use an agency. Well, then fine. You're going to go get somebody who gives a shit. Bring her to me, right? If that's where you're at, where is that judgment? Where is that discernment? That's what needs to happen. Men say, well, how do I take authority back? Well, you start by holding women accountable, not absolving them of their bad decisions. It's all we've done for the last 60 years. Why do we have no fault divorce? Why do we have, on-demand abortion? Why do we have Duluth model of feminism? Why are we where we're at right now? Well, guys will tell me this all the time. Well, if men were better men, then women would shape up. Yeah, until men try to be better men, until men step in and try to be authoritarian or authoritative at least, and say, no, you're not flying off to Bulgaria with this guy in his private jet. No, you're not going to go and petition people on Instagram to come and watch my granddaughter. No, you're not going to do that. I'm going to step in here, and you're making a bad, stupid decision. And let me explain to you in no uncertain terms why it's a stupid decision. No, I'm not going to have that conversation because that would be stepping in and trying to tell women what they can and can't do. Fuck you. It's important that you do step in and tell them what they can and can't do, because there are downstream effects from those bad decisions. So if you had stepped in at an earlier time in that time stream, you wouldn't be feeling those effects, such as the kid getting kidnapped, or mom and dad, having to pay the bill for taking out loans to pay off the Tinder swindler. Right. Or that chicken bad vegan, right? Or dad's paying off her debt. And she's like $6.1 million in the hole, and she didn't pay anything of that. Other people did. But if somebody stepped in and said, you're not seeing this dude anymore. Are you out of your mind? This guy's an idiot. He's insane. Nobody wanted to step in and do that. But you know who's paying the price? The people who should have said something in the beginning. Those people are paying the price because it was the cascade effect on the way down. So when we talk about like this is I don't think people really grasped this. When we talk about like Fresh and Fit, and these girls are ratchet hoes, and we bring them on and we hold their feet to the fire and we hold women accountable. And that's like this new like template for a successful podcast. But the thing is that's only the first step. That's only the first thing, is making people aware of this. Guys have to actually step in and go, you know what? Like if I go on there and I say, there's this 21-year-old girl sitting next to me. She's like, oh yeah, I got a kid. I got a 1-year-old kid. Who's watching him? Am I being a dick by saying that? I am being a dick by saying that. I'm saying, who's watching the kid? Oh, mom, big ups to mom. Shout out to mom, right? That doesn't make for a really good podcast because it sounds judgmental. It sounds discerning. It sounds like somebody's going in there and like calling her out on her bullshit. Or maybe the guy's at home watching the kid too. Who knows? But just me asking that kills the conversation. It's like, it's all fun and games until you say, who's watching your kid right now? Dead silent crickets, who, what, oh, sorry, man, you're a buzzkill. Yeah, I am a buzzkill, but that's the next step. It's not just about holding women accountable. It's also making women think about the consequences of their actions, and who's facilitating their ability to go and party, right? While they take the responsibility. And that's the kill part of kill the party, right? And I'm not saying kill, right? Grandma watching the kid, that's the kill part. The party part is where you're out there just living it up in Miami and doing whatever you're going to do. You have to be authoritative. You have to step in. You have to have the ball. People told me this all the time. They say, well, men need to be better men. Well, okay. Part of that means you have to have the balls to go in and say, no. Well, how dare you? How dare you tell me I can't do something myself? Well, do you want me to be, you're the one that told me that men need to be more responsible. And men need to take over the situation, and then women will be better, right? Well, you have to have the balls to actually want to do that in the first place. What did you put here?